Okay, so let's take a deep dive into gold, NASDAQ, Footsie, DAX, and some other FX pairs. Okay, so let's take a little look at the gold market to start with. We have been long and strong gold. We had our last buy signal on Pro Trading System just here. Then we got a new trend predictor, so the market's been pushing higher. Then we saw this great big two-wave divergence that was setting up, and we managed to trail our stop nice and tight with that long trade. And so we were prepared for the short side because of that two-wave divergence. And since then, we've just been sideways with a couple of trend predictors and red Pro Trading System. So, you know, the storyteller here, it is pretty flat. So I'm thinking that we're going to get a decent sized move. At the moment, it's still red. We could be heading down to $2,279. And then the next target auto-generated here at 2,177. So at the moment, it just looks like it's going to drift lower. We are seeing some dollar weakness though, so we could expect a new green. If we get a new green, then the parameters will set up for a new long trade, and that would be great. I think after this new buy signal back in here, back in February, when we broke out of that symmetrical triangle with a Pro Trading System momentum, that it's been, you know, pretty sideways over the last month or so, but I am expecting a new move for June. German DAX, you know, we've had a great run up on the DAX, nice Pro Trading System buy signals, and then we had this trend predictor at the top of this trend, which is always the warning sign. And since then, we have been selling off really hard. The thing is here, guys, we're stuck a little bit with the moving averages here. Now, storyteller is flat. That is always a sign that we're going to be going on a big move. At the moment, that move or that direction is down because we're red on the Pro Trading System. We've already got stop targets, entry targets already projected automatically here on the system. So, you know, if we go up for a day, we've got a new month starting tomorrow, haven't we? So it is 31st on Friday. I'm doing this update on Friday. First is Saturday, and next week we'll have a new monthly candlestick. So we'll be setting up those new monthly trades in the system here for you swing traders. So let's take a little look. Let's see if we just climb back up into here and then really sell off down to these targets, number 1 and number 2. We could certainly do that. Once again, what would stop that is if we get a brand new bullish buy signal on the candlestick and start pushing higher. But we shall see when or if that happens. At the moment, it is looking bearish and down. Footsie's been a great one. We had that new buy signal. I think that surprised everyone, but the system turned green. You've got to just trade what you see, not what you think. Pushed higher nicely. The storyteller got really overbought here. And the momentum on our storyteller was very high, so we're on the lookout for banking the profits. And then we got the new red signal, dropped down for a few days, and then rallied. We hit first target at 8,275 from our sell signal here, stop placement automatically generated. We rallied for 2 days, and then we got the trend predictor. So the red arrow, if you're not familiar with the red arrow here, that's telling us that the next day or the next candlestick, whether it's a weekly, monthly, and we use these a lot on monthly charts because, you know, we'll be looking for new arrows. If it's red, we're looking for a candlestick to go down. And if that's on a monthly chart, that could be hundreds and hundreds of points profit. So we're always on the lookout for looking for those big monthly candlestick signals. That's why the monthly, I'm referencing the monthly because we've got to do that this weekend. So we had a nice sell signal down and we pretty much hit profit target. We're not far away from it. Now we've got another trend predictor. So we've got one that was a beautiful short trade, and now we've got another red. Red means short, green means long. Let's see if we get into here and then we go again. I'm going to have to start putting in the new settings for the next profit target, number 3, which will be auto generated here on the system. All right, so that looking for, it's an interesting time. We've got a new trend predictor short on the Footsie 100. NASDAQ, been a real mess, the NASDAQ, and I think the key for the NASDAQ, why we got short on the NASDAQ, guys, was because if you take a little look at the weekly here, and let's delete some of these lines for you. Now I had a very clear Elliott wave 5-wave count, and I've got to extend that to here. And we've had a lovely bull market in the NASDAQ. You know, it's been driven by AI, Nvidia in particular, those magnificent 7 stocks out the US, and it's been fantastic. But this was the warning side, a 1, 2 peak. Okay, so in and around here, that was your buy signal from red to green. Pretty easy signal, isn't it? And then you get out of here, and then the new green was a nice buy stop, and we pushed up for about 1, 2, 3. This is the 3rd week. But our warning signs was this 3-wave divergence at the top of a trend. Getting those divergences at the top of a trend, you know, you've got to look back on the chart, see where we've come from. If it's just a small move and you get a divergence, I don't think that's not what I like to use. I like to use, and the work I do with divergences is done after a massive trend up, and we have had a massive trend. So this last week we have been looking for short side trades in the NASDAQ because of that divergence and because of the structure of the trend. And here's the 4-hour time frame, and we got that red pro trade system in the middle of the week, and we shorted it all the way down, and it's hit this profit target here. Nice nearly 400 point move, which has been a fabulous short for us on the NASDAQ. Okay, so watch out, you know, when you're looking for divergences on a market, always look back and see, has it been an extraordinarily big long trend? Because if it has, the likelihood is that there's profit taking at the highs, it's losing or it's slowing down, and it could roll over. And that's exactly what we had on the weekly chart on the NASDAQ. Okay, so if you're long, it's a good time to take some profits, or if you're looking for a new short, it's a good time to grab some short side profits as well. So with the short side trades that we've had this week, which we've been all looking for, there's a nice tool that could help you guys, and it's the VIX, the Volatility Index. And if you're new to trading, basically, if the VIX is coming down, the stock market is likely going higher. Volatility is reducing here, stocks go up. But as you can see this last week, the VIX chart was right at the very lows. Now, when it's at the lows like this, this is where a lot of people use it wrong. So if you ever get taught to, you know, short the stock markets as it's going up, it's too late. You want to be looking for these bases here on the VIX. It's VIX, Volatility Index. When you get the VIX down at a support area, the stock markets, Footsie, DAX, NASDAQ, S&P, Dow, is likely to find a high and will drop, because volatility increases as stocks drop most of the time. And the VIX came down to this support area here. So it does the opposite to the stock market. And if you're looking for a long trade here on the VIX, you're likely looking for a short trade on the indices. Let's dive into a couple of FX pairs while we're here. And this Swissy yen, it's been extraordinary. The amounts of points profit here, I mean, we're taking 142, you know, all the way up to this, and that's a couple of 1,000-point move here, pips move. And then, you know, we see another buy signal, and then we got another buy signal. But look at the size of this divergence. Huge, but it still keeps going higher. I think when this market does have a sell-off, I think it's going to be a very big one. But, you know, you don't need to try and time it with anything else besides the system. So if we get a red pro trend system here, this is going to be a ginormous move to the downside. You can see it's getting slower and slower than it did on this impulsive move higher here. Keep your eye on it. It's you know, I don't want you to trade it so much. I don't want you to just short this market, because you need to wait for a trigger, and that market, you know, it's going to happen at some point. It's just getting that timing right. This is the weekly chart, by the way. Yen markets, even the euro yen, continues to be green and long. 167 was the daily entry, pretty much getting up to that 171. Very nice profits indeed. It's still green, but we are getting mature on the storyteller, so I'd certainly be turning the trading stop feature on. Nothing on, I think this market, I think that just keep your eye on the Aussie dollar, because I think this market is going to start to break out for the month of June, guys. I'm going to wait for a nice new pro trend system buy. It's going to be a light green candlestick, and I'm going to buy the Aussie dollar, and I think we're going to push high. I think Aussie dollar across the board I've seen it, and I'm not sure about the Swissy, but I've seen it, you know, that's had a nice, but there's no buy signal on the Swissy. Aussie New Zealand really does need to start to pick up, and I think that's been sold off. Nice red on the downside, but I think the Aussie across some of these other markets, let's have a little look at on the Aussie CAD. I think we're sideways here. I think, you know, we can wait for the next new buy signal on this. I think Aussie CAD could start to push higher. Aussie against sterling as well. It's getting ready for a new. I think Aussie is going to be the FX pair for the FX, not pair, the FX currency against some of these other currencies for June. I think this is going to be, so keep your eye out on the Aussie, guys. I do like it, and the likes of the Euro Aussie, you know, probably going to be doing the opposite here. Euro Aussie going to probably give us a new sell signal to the downside at some point for June. All right, so I hope it helps, guys. Yeah, I'm just thinking maybe there's a couple of other markets to look at. I think let's have a little look at Nvidia, the golden child of the NASDAQ, isn't it? I mean, it's just been up and away, and it's been, you know, target after target. This final target right up here has been hit. You know, you can't bet against this market, but the 4-hour did turn red yesterday, and I think I'm going to do another video for you, and just to talk about, you know, if you're getting stopped out of trades, what can help you, because I think, you know, with our storyteller momentum indicator here, when it gets really high, there's no way you should be buying. People are buying, traders are buying up here, and it's a low probability long trade because of the storyteller maturity. When it gets too high, it really is overbought. But Nvidia has just been in an absolute tear all the way up here, and there's quite a few of these stocks that just feel like they're getting a little bit toppy. And I think, you know, if we look at Apple as well, I mean, Apple has been long and strong on the weekly chart at $182, now trading like 1,000 points higher. Let's have a little look on the daily. Daily's been great and long, but once again, a mature storyteller. You want to be in it down here when it starts to grow, starts to push higher. You don't want to be buying something when it's a mature storyteller like that. So shorts this week were great. We had shorts in Marriott, which was a lovely sell signal on this on the daily. That was a beautiful sell signal. McDonald's to the downside, which was really nice here. That hit target after target. And the other one which we were short on was Lulu. That was a very nice short. That's continued to drop as well. Good profits on that. And I'm looking for long side trades. I'm looking at Walt Disney for long. That could be possibly in a share dealing account. So I like that. And I'm just looking at my, I think, you know, we had some nice breakouts on Foot Locker yesterday, then it completely reversed, which was good. And yeah, so, you know, we've had some nice Marriott, nice McDonald's short. I'm just keeping my eye on this Walt Disney. All right, so I'm looking for this to see if it finds a base and nice new green buy signal. All right, guys, hope it helps, and I'll speak to you soon.